Have you noticed how some people pick on others and are nasty to them? They say things that make the other person feel sad or bad, and may even start to push them around and start a fight. People who do that are called bullies. We can all be bullies in one way or another. In a way, it's what starts off fights between gangs and even wars between countries. So it's a good idea to know how we can be a bully ourselves and stop before things turn nasty. Becoming a bully is like getting lost. You think you know the right way, taking little steps, but before you know where you are, you've gone round in a circle, retrace your steps, and get really lost. So let's look at the steps you can take. Each one is like the 10 ways you become you, which is what we have already looked at. The trouble is you don't use them properly. The first is that you watch and listen to other people, but you don't really get to know them. Then you start to notice that they are different from you, but you don't know why and don't bother to understand the differences. The third step is that you imagine that the other person isn't as good or as right as you are, even though you have no good reasons for thinking that. Then you decide to tell the other person that you think they're not as good as you are. You often do this to make yourself feel better than they are. The fifth step is one that you really miss out on. You don't spend time asking yourself if what you are thinking is really true or kind. You then start making fun of the other person, pointing out that they are different and having a laugh at them. The seventh step is when you actually tell them how silly or wrong they are and why they can't be like you, even though you may be just as silly or wrong yourself. The eighth step is when you encourage your friends to join with you and to tease the other person too. When your friends agree and join you, this makes you feel sure you're right. You then gang up together and start to be physical, making them really unhappy. There's safety in numbers, and you do things you would never try to do on your own. And finally, you and your friends see how the other person reacts. You like it because it makes you feel powerful, important and right, and so you keep on bullying. The next time round you follow these same steps and it all gets worse and worse. Now this sort of thing happens all the time, especially with grown-ups, and it's what causes all the conflicts you hear about in the news or see at first hand. So the next time you feel like bullying somebody, think about what is happening and put yourself in the other person's place. How would you feel? Ask your questions, like, why don't I get to know somebody better? Why do I dislike the way they are different? Why do I think I am better than they are? Why do I enjoy seeing someone else having a bad time? Your teacher, your parents, will be able to help you look at the steps and see where you are going wrong, find answers to these questions, and become a nicer person. You and everyone else will be much happier when you do.